Ladies and gentlemen, good day. Welcome to the conferment exercises of the Far Eastern University Institute of Law. I am Associate Dean Jose Pabiton.
And I am Dean Mel Santa Maria of the Far Eastern University Institute of Law. Welcome to everybody. Today is a very joyous occasion because we will see our graduates finish their institutional education in law. Alam mo, Jolon, this is a very momentous time, di ba? Every graduation is a momentous time.
It marks an achievement. It's time for you to remember all those hardships that you went through. It ends the school period and it marks the beginning of the life of a soon-to-be lawyer.
O nga, yung pagsusulit, yung mga quizzes, yung recitations, lalong-lalo na, yung thesis nila, yung thesis defense, na kung saan hinaharap nila ang mga tatlong mga eksperto at talagang dinedepensa nila ang kanilang advocacy, di ba? Sa pamamagitan ng thesis nila. Napakahirap nun.
Hirap po mag-aral ng batas. Naalala ko ng mga panahon na nag-aaral pa ako, hindi ako masyado natutulog, basa na lang ako ng basa. Ultimo yung pagkain ko, inuorasan ko dahil pagkatapos kumain, kailangan na magbasa.
Oo nga. Kaya sa puntong yan, dapat rin natin i-congratulate hindi lang ang ating mga graduate, kundi ang mga magulang nila, ang mga kapatid nila, ang mga mahal nila sa buhay, at kung may asawa sila, asawa nila at mga anak nila. Congratulations rin po sapagkat ang suporta na ibinigay nyo sa inyong mga graduates ngayon talagang walang katumbas. Invaluable, ika nga. Diba, Jolon?
Sa tingin ko, dapat ang maramdaman nila, para rin sila na nag-graduate.
Oo, tama. Para rin talaga sila nag-graduate. Kaya, this is a very wholesome occasion. Diba? Very wholesome occasion. At, syempre, i-congratulate rin natin ang mga profesor nila. Yung mga araw-araw na nagpaparecite sa kanila at nagbibigay ng mga final exam sa kanila. Congratulations then for a job well done.
Congratulations,
diba?
professors.
And syempre, administration ng ating Institute of Law. They did a great job. Sila yung mga kinukulit Diba?
Yan na, natapos na rin.
Oo, natapos na rin. Kaya, well, eto na, Joron, this is it. So how about starting these very, very important ceremonies?
Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin our conferment exercises.
Mga kaibigan, mga kababayan, mga mag-aaral, mga mahal sa buhay na mag-aaral, ito po ay, kagaya ng nasabi ko, napaka-importanting araw sa napakadaming mga tao. At kagaya po ng sinabi ko rin noon, kami po ay nagpapaumanhin sapagkat hindi kami makapagbibigay ng tunay na graduation na tayo ay magkakasama at nag-aabot ng diploma at sinasabitan ng medalya. Ito po ay isang conferment ceremony. At kung papalarin po tayo, susubukan po natin magkaroon talaga ng graduation sa darating na panahon kung wala na ang pandemya. Pero umpisa na po natin. Mr. President of the Far Eastern University Institute of Law, President Michael Alba, I hereby present to you the graduating class of 2021 of the Far Eastern University Institute of Law. They have accomplished all requirements, passed all conditions in fulfilling their degree, the Juris Doctor program of FEU. And may I therefore request, Mr. President, that you bestow on them the degree of Juris Doctor.
By virtue of the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Far Eastern University, I hereby confer upon you the Juris Doctor degree with all the privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. Congratulations, Batch 2021. And now, let us listen to the valedictory address of FEU Institute of Law, Batch 2021, Class Valedictorian.
Good afternoon. Fellow graduates, congratulations to us. Due to numerous circumstances, delays, and mishaps, there was a point that we thought this day would never come. But here we are, one step closer to our dream. So congratulations to us. We all know how challenging law school is. It is an environment where you are expected to be the best and be at your best at every given moment. After all, the legal profession demands nothing less, and rightfully so, since life, limb, and liberty is at stake. This pressure has produced some of the country's most notable citizens, outstanding lawyers, statesmen, leaders, and heroes. Exceptional, right? But we have to acknowledge them for what they are, exceptions. The general population of law students and lawyers alike suffer immensely from this debilitating pressure. According to a research conducted by Daphne Foundation, 27% of law students are depressed after one semester, 34% after 2 semesters, and 40% after 3 years. The same study provides that entering law school, law students have a psychological profile similar to that of the general public. After law school, 20 to 40% have a psychological dysfunction. A proud lawyer might say, pressure turns coal into diamonds, or if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. But a good lawyer should be alarmed and should start acknowledging that there is a problem. A lot of law students will tell you that they hate law school. Believe me, they don't. Most aspiring lawyers enter law school hopeful and starry-eyed, excited to become part of the legal profession, for their dreams, for their families, for the country. But somewhere along the way, something just changes. But believe you me, we don't hate the law. We don't hate the cases. Hell, we don't even hate the grind. What we absolutely abhor are the things usually associated with becoming a brilliant law student. Professors expect brilliant law students to read all cases in the originals and then proceed to assign 100 of them. Top-notchers and consistent honor students will tell you brilliant law students make their own notes, handwritten even, but forget to realize that some students work 8 to 5 jobs. Lawyers with master's degrees from prestigious universities here and abroad will expect brilliant students to submit to their whims and caprice and then call them whining when they can't because they have to take care of their sick child. People will tell you brilliant students will achieve at all costs, but they don't tell you that winning at all costs will cost you your joy. I know because striving to be here in this very position has cost me my joy. So I would like to take this privilege, this opportunity, to give you this advice. Instead of striving for brilliance, strive for joy. Exude enthusiasm instead of conformity, passion instead of grit. Instead of becoming better than your peers, be better than the person you were yesterday. Instead of aiming to be the best among a class of individuals, aim to be the best person you can be. Do not stress yourself with the results will come, I assure you. Instead, do your job in a manner where you can walk out of the room with a smile on your face and be truly happy with yourself. As my thesis advisor would say, don't give me a work that you are not proud of. And to further bolster this point, let me quote from the late great coach John Wooden. Success is peace of mind in knowing that you have done your best. And when you have found your joy, don't forget to share it. After all, this society is in need of great lawyers now more than ever. Great lawyers, not brilliant lawyers, as Ka Pepe Diokno told his son. And I quote, only a good man can become a great lawyer. For only a man who understands the weakness of men because he has conquered them in himself, who deals honorably and fairly with all, because to do otherwise would diminish him as well as them. Only such a man would command respect that he could persuade and need never resort to force. Only such man could become a great lawyer. Do not aim for wealth, awards, or fame. Rather, aim to be of service to the people, an instrument of justice and a beacon of hope. Aim to become an inspiration whom future generations of lawyers will look up to and say, I want to become like that person. Before I conclude this address, I would like to make myself clear. I myself believe that there is no substitute for hard work. But is it not easier to work hard and give it your all in a supportive and encouraging environment? So let's be kind and let's be compassionate. Find your joy and be a source of hope for others. Thank you.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful and meaningful valedictory address.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are your graduates. Juris Doctor, Batch 2021. Apostol Perlita Reyes, Second Honors. Baklay Jaira Eriza Cabico. Barba Beryl Joyce Velarde. Bello Marla Olivia Sifra. Belwang Phoebe Kim Sabater, Second Honors. Bernardes Ivy Clarice Amisola. Camacho Beverly Ann Udahundo. Kataal Fretzy Jane Pampilo. Corpus Crystal Grace Biscocho. Dance Vito Shuwang. De Leon Zairelia Jeuville Sepe. De Colin Sedi Matugas. Doringo Jad Michael Frances Trinidad. Enemido Luis Armando Camus. Escudero Hannah Kureg. Farcon Virgilio III Yungko. Third best thesis. Ferrer, Laura Lee, Zabala, second honors. Go, Chelsea Isabel D. Prieto. Hosaka Orlino Enrique Eliazar. Hornacion TJ Paula Tapales, second honors. King Stephanie Gale Rogando, first best thesis. Lagrada Frederick Bermudez, second honors. Loresca Mark Anthony Dolor. Macaranas Angelo Soriano. Maranan Roland Dalangin, second honors. Mendoza Ian Mendoza, second best thesis. Mendoza Mildred, Austria, second honors. Mundin Bianca Nympha San Pascual, second honors. Nerpio Robilyn Kate Santos. Kimora Dorothy Leonor Piñon. Regino Maria Daniela Santos. Reyes Mervin Joshua Aragon, second honors. Romero Maverick Wilford Chua, second honors. Sa banal, Marilu Diangco. Serpa Juan Dustin Marley Carino. Tumala Nielsen Ballesteros. Valix Cindy Flores. We Asia.
Mga kaibigan, pahintulutan niyo pong aking i-introduce sa inyo ang guest speaker namin ngayong gabing ito, the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the Republic of the Philippines, Justice Alfredo Benjamin Caguiwa.
FEU President Dr. Michael M. Alba, Senior Vice President for Corporate Affairs, my friend, Attorney Diana Montenola, Institute of Law Dean Melencio Santa Maria, another good friend of mine, to the FEU Institute of Law faculty and staff, our dear graduates, families, friends, and everyone attending this virtual ceremony. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Let me begin by conveying my heartfelt congratulations to all of you. You are a batch that has spent your junior and senior years having to learn law in a lockdown. I cannot begin to imagine the challenges you had to surmount and the toll it must have taken on your physical and mental well-being. In the face of odds that have been far greater, you have persevered and successfully navigated your way through the tempest that is law school. So this occasion, your graduation, is a very big deal. And if we were all together in a gym or an auditorium, I'd ask all of you to stand and applaud each other as loudly as you can, because really, this was not an easy journey. Unfortunately, or perhaps thankfully, depending on how you see it, hindi pa tapos. An equally daunting journey is just ahead. The bar exam awaits with its own share of limitations, its new format, to be undertaken during these very strange times amidst these new difficulties. If anything, I hope you can take great comfort in and draw confidence from the fact that you have come this far. You have overcome so much, emerged as winners already. Whether you feel it or not, you all have already earned the right to have faith in yourselves and in the great institution that has prepared you for the next step. So, at next year's roll signing, I will go down to the lobby of the Supreme Court main hall and I will look for you. And each and every one of you will be there, I have no doubt. And when, not if, when that day comes, you will probably already know the path that you will take. Join the government, private sector, the academe, or a straggling of one or some or all. Iba-ibang landas na. But whichever road you take, you will find yourselves face to face with varied scenarios involving questions about the law, as well as the things that stand upon it. Whether as litigation, labor or corporate lawyers, or as policymakers, clerks of court, fiscals or arbiters, the questions will be different in every area, the scope ever wide, the issues most provocative and interesting. There may be a case about a young boy who at the tender age of 16 faces a lifetime in jail because he is accused of drug using or drug pushing. Or a case of a young man accused of rape in a he said, she said scenario. There may be a battered wife wanting out of a very bad marriage, an illegitimate child demanding recognition or his share in the inheritance. There will be a corporate client going against global fraud operators, another company wanting to build roads and bridges, tobacco companies getting sued for being health hazards, or another company pleading for rights to spoil a monument's view. You will meet a mother begging for justice for her son run over by a speeding bus. Your heart will bleed for a man wanting custody over his children. You will be involved in election protests, will suffer through arguments for and against a dictator's right to be buried in hallowed ground. You will swing from one side to another in determining the legal basis for declaring martial law. You will have to swim through 1,001 arguments for or against a terror law. I could go on, and so can you. Sa dami ba naman ng cases na inaral nyo at pinag-isipan? The sheer volume and variety of cases account for the richness of the law, and your esteemed professors will agree that there may be no better way to forge on in the study and love of the profession. The difference, though, is that this time, and I will say this very slowly, this time, moving forward, the cases will be yours. And when a case becomes yours, it will be real. The names on the pages will be real people whose names you will know, whose phone calls you will answer, whose hands you will shake, whose interests you will protect. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The role you play will be crucial. Any part of the process that you play, faced with any case, it will be crucial. It will determine who will pay or get paid, who will go to jail or who will be set free, who will live or who will die. Your actions or inactions will have real consequences, good or bad. The role you play in the dispensation of justice or the infliction of injustice is crucial. The role you play in upholding the law, protecting it, defending it, or failing to do any of these things, crucial. There is a Latin saying, in inceptum finis est. In the beginning is the end. The end depends upon the beginning. My dear graduates, if there is one thing I want you to take away from this talk today, it is this. That crucial role, your crucial role, begins today. And I need you to realize the enormity of that role today in inceptum. As I had mentioned to the graduating class of Ateneo in 2017, and which I repeat to you today, the law has the immense power to do so much good. Wielded properly, the law is there to safeguard rights, protect citizens, make bad people accountable, allow for criminals to be punished. The law instills order, determines right and wrong, uplifts the levels of decency and justice in a society. But even as it has the power to do all that good, the law may also be used as a weapon to enable the bad, free the wrongdoer, jail the crusader, revise history, terrorize the population. Alas, the law is vulnerable to evil and evil forces. For even as the law has the power to shape a nation's history and forge a nation's soul, whether that history, that soul is something we can draw dignity from depends on how well it is respected and protected and continually uplifted. In the end, the law will only be as good as the good in the hearts and minds of the people that make, interpret, and implement it. It will only be as good as the people that fight for it and die for it. That is the enormity of the role you play. You have the power to shape our nation, to shape our history, to shape our nation's soul. You need to realize as you take your first steps into this, your career in law, in inceptum. At this point, I can almost read your minds. Big words, enormous power, huge responsibility, all on my small shoulders. Sino ba naman ako? Kakayanin ko ba? How do I proceed? And what is this end that I should strive for? What is this finis? Well, let me help you break it down. Kakayanin ko ba? Of course. Yes, the practice of law is different from law school. My father used to say that practice is a completely new matriculation. In so many ways, this is true. While I am sure that you have all diligently studied to be where you are today, pace yourselves, as there are still so many things that need to be learned. And truthfully, there are no courses in law school that prepare you for a whole lot of situations you will encounter in the real world. And yet, and this is a big yet, you will realize that law school has already provided you with a bedrock on which to find solutions. You will realize that in answering a lot of the questions you will encounter, you will hark back to the basic laws of political law, civil law, commercial law, and criminal law. You will see that in addressing all the cases you will handle, you will revert back to the mindset of law school, which is how to digest a case. Facts, issues, ruling. Do not underestimate this simple process of critical thinking. It is no different from phenomenology or the primary and secondary reflection taught in philosophy. It is a way of thinking, a way of solving a problem. In so many words, what I want you to understand, which is the first thing that you need to believe in, is that as a matter of undeniable fact, you already have in you the basic tools to do well in practice. So, in the future, when you're getting a good scolding or what we call nasasabon, or when you submit work and it comes back to you all bloody with revisions, do not despair. No one gets it completely right the first time. Remember, you already have what it takes. You all passed law school. Many of you here excelled and graduated with honors. And soon, you will be subjected to a rigorous bar exam and you will pass. Walang pakiusap, walang after-class recitation, walang favoritism, walang daya. Trust in yourself. Trust in your education, in your experience. Trust in your hard work. Trust that you have what it takes to succeed in practice. And if you fail, try again. Try harder. Try better. Try your very best. Do not give up. Persist. Plod on. I always tell my young lawyers that the first few years must be about becoming a complete lawyer. Complete in the legal skills. You will be expected to know how to progress a case or a matter to the desired goal. So, it is not just knowing how to file a complaint or an answer. It means knowing what the goal is and doing everything to achieve that goal versus your opponent, an imperfect system, a flawed judge, a perplexing appellate system, and so on. You will not always win, but not winning does not mean failing or losing. The first few years is about honing your skills, expanding your knowledge, and striving for excellence every day. And when you're tired or frustrated or feeling disillusioned, and I am sure you will surely have those days, remember today, your beginning, your inceptum, and persist and plod on. Next question. How do I proceed? What is the finish I will strive for? Well, we proceed with excellence. We are all on our own personal quests towards becoming better lawyers. Yes, this is a continuing journey. I have been on this journey longer, so take my word for it when I tell you that Aristotle spoke the truth when he said that excellence is not an act, it is a habit. And you develop the habit of excellence by critical reflection, critical thinking, and simply trying your best every day. This excellence we strive for, we do not strive for ourselves alone. We strive to do more and to become better because we want to populate the legal system with committed and excellent lawyers. We want to become lawyers and work with lawyers and fill the profession with lawyers who will impact society in a positive way by doing good and being good at what we do. Who will change things for the better, who will not settle for mediocrity or simply accept the status quo, who will definitely not make things worse. Take care not to fall into the trap of becoming too fixated with building your legal careers or scaling up the professional ladder. that you lose sight of the thing that matters the most, the thing we ought to strive for, justice. That, my dear graduates, is the finis, justice. Allow me to reminisce a bit. I served in President Noynoy Aquino's cabinet before I was appointed to the Supreme Court. I served as Pinoy's Chief Presidential Legal Counsel and briefly as his Secretary of Justice. In that 3-year period of time, I had a front row view of the mind and heart of this man who really didn't want to run for the highest office of the land, but did so under a moral obligation that he could contribute, that he could do good. And yes, the stories you've heard are true. He really did have a copy of the Philippine Constitution wherever he went. On his big desk at the President's study, there was such a copy. Inside his briefcase, carried by June Delantar, his close-in aide, was another copy. During cabinet meetings, and even in small meetings, he really did always have a copy of the Constitution. And always, he would refer to it, read from it, and argue on the basis of its text, whatever the issue was before him, whether it was economic, political, or social. Such was his respect for and adherence to the law. And yes, he would argue as if he was more a lawyer than most lawyers I know. He was a layman, but his arguments were strong, sound, and very wise. There was in him an overpowering desire to do what was right, to follow the law at all times, refusing the gray areas, refusing to put his actions at any risk of being considered against the law. And then, at the end of the discussion, no matter how big or small the legal issue was, no matter how complicated, no matter how multifaceted, his last questions always were, anong epekto sa buhay ng mga boss ko? Anong epekto lalo na sa mga mahihirap? After all the legal research and excellent arguments and advice that my team came up with all the time, these questions always threw us off. Ano ang epekto sa buhay ng mga boss ko? And my team and I would always look at each other and we'll scratch our heads. Ano daw? Ano nga ba? It was difficult to answer at first, but eventually we made sure we had an answer satisfying to him every time we met, no matter the issue. Skyway 3, EDSA traffic, Bagyo, MERS, Laglagbala, LRT trains, bakuna, budget, everything. Big issues and small issues. Lengthy and difficult questions, discussions. And always the two main questions in the end. Sigurado bang tama ako based on the Constitution? Anong ba ang epekto sa mga boss ko? And that, dear graduates, is the truth of our profession that we lawyers somehow forget. That every law question that confronts us has a real person at the other side. Every legal issue affects real lives, real people. And when we say that every legal decision affects life and liberty, these are not mere concepts anymore. They refer to the life and liberty of real people. I share this memory with you because I know that you, as future lawyers of the country, will be faced with legal dilemmas, competing interests, and catch-22 choices. In those times, it is imperative that you remember that every law question has a real person on the other side. That every legal issue affects real lives, real people. You will not face abstract concepts. You will face real ones with consequences that are all too real in the life and liberty of real people. We strive for excellence every single day because we know that our actions and inactions will have consequences and we must take responsibility for them. In my office is a mosaic artwork which my wife commissioned from a foundation that she and I support. It is a depiction of everyday life of the everyman. It is busy, noisy, orderly, idyllic. In its center is a church. In one scene, a Philippine flag. It has our oceans on one side, a prison complex on the other, a school, a hospital, commercial buildings, farms, markets. In the picture are many people going about their own way. But among them, scattered throughout the scenes, is Lady Justice, white, blindfolded, scales on one hand, and sword in the other. She is there among real people, real comings and goings, real lives. To me, it is a reminder of where I am, who I am, and the role I play. To me, this artwork is a reminder of the power of law and how its use should result in the dispensation of justice to the everyman. My dear graduates, in inceptum finis est. My prayer is that in all your comings and goings, you will recognize justice or perceive its absence, that you discern inequity when it happens around you, but that you find it in yourself to stand up against it. As you strive towards your career goals, do remember that your choices affect real people, that the law is a tool and that you are the wielder. And because of this, you have the power to make things better or worse. Please, please, resist the temptation to get caught up in the trappings of the profession, that you forget the whole point of it all. And as you now leave the halls of FEU and sink yourselves knee-deep in the currents, chaos, and shadows of the world that awaits you, my singular hope is that each of you will be able to hold fast, to persist, to take courage, and to generate light for others. It is often not the easiest choice, but I hope we can all do our part and give our best every day to try to be, as Gandhi put it, the change we want to see in the world. In inceptum finis est. I invite you even now, at the beginning, to already start thinking of yourselves as stakeholders in the legal profession and in the legal system. I hope you will make a decision today, in the beginning, to invest in an ideal that each should endeavor at all times to become excellent and honorable children, parents, lawyers, and citizens in the pursuit of justice. But for now, allow yourselves to relish in this victory of graduating from law school. Take a break from your bar preparations to celebrate this very momentous occasion, whether by yourself or with the persons who helped you reach this milestone. Be mindful of the truth that you already have what it takes to forge on and thrive. Let this give you an energy boost as you continue your review. I wish you all the best as you conquer the bar exams, of which there are many firsts, it being digitalized and regionalized. I am sure that this will entail additional challenges, but I have no doubt that the FEU Institute of Law has prepared you well. Again, my sincerest congratulations to the class of 2021, and I look forward to seeing you all out there. Again, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Jolon, you deserve an applause. Mga kapatid, mga kaibigan, kababayan, mga graduates at mga mahal sa buhay ng ating mga graduates, dyan na po nagtatapos ang aming conferment ceremony para sa batch 2021 ng Far Eastern University Institute of Law. Pero bago po tayo magtapos, Jolon, Associate Dean, I propose a toast to this very hardworking, very superb group of young men and young women who will surely be an asset to our society and to our school. Cheers to all of you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.